Hello, Americans. Retired and standing interbranch family members have had roles of evidences racketeering worse than war crimes and delusions at countries A through Z. That's why they have broken grammar school language. That's why Judge Napolitano is pulling out some TikToker from China, repeating the same nonsense. He used the word addiction. Our governments have rules of medicines, crimes that are also with mental health care people. Delusions are up. They can't afford a quality of fact should be nature necessary to debate properly things like yin yang or alpha and omega, let alone the law. When they have readings of statutes and precedents, there are exceptions and exception nature they left out originally and still. And in other words, they have notion. Look how there have been people in jails that are recording crimes with the crime roles with the crime scenes. The state judicial branch offices and the state corrections offices of Connecticut have roles with all kinds of mail and wire crime methods. And with people seating juries are criminally foreign influence, tactical delusions, raw, all kinds of drugs, medicines, poisons, crimes, all kinds of natures of crime scenes. They've been changing and faking evidences at from their locations. Also, as collusion slash at the crime scenes, they're putting fake phone transcripts. So Connecticut, multiple courts and the state judicial branch offices are recorded how used remotely criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions raw, and we're preventing paper so they can cover up what came first too, and searching for more ways to bring an arrest so they can pretend passions and emotions. They even just fake things to bring people in after they get caught again, make more issues seem. And people go to courts and they just keep coming back and forth and they're putting more fake things in databases. They never give writing. They give confessions about how they switch names, forge names. New Britain Superior Court has people named O'Brien, Smith, and Clough and De Simone, people that aren't even live here anymore, involved with their extended family members, a whole bunch of people tied to them involved with some untimely deaths. You guys are changing and faking with people. Oh, it's an allegation. In other words, get on paper. Get on paper. You want to say it's an allegation, say that on paper. Get them on paper. And I've been asking a long time for Judge Napolitano to respond because you guys are involved with wire mail crime. You can't call the police. They'll change your fake what's recorded. They put me in a fake conversations with Wethersfield police as a kid and now as an adult. We could use this. They put me in a fake conversations with doctors too that weren't at all when I was a kid. And they pretended this through the news. They pretend to have conversation. I had roles with doctors when I was a kid, and then I was an adult. Increasingly, my neighbors have roles intercities with the campuses I went, with the security there, too, involved with predicate acts against me, identity theft, fraud, slanders, all kinds of sick things. You pick one. You guys are preventing our short words, and then you want to pretend you're about vigorous and concise. You probably can't understand what you're saying. Focus on the interbranch. With the news too, they put sequence shifts with the World Trade Center attack. They're gonna now they're obligated to speak for things like that's why wars come because all sides are suits and ties fake. You guys are incapable of speaking properly because you came through sick campuses. If you want to debate it honestly, it would have been revealed. But you change and fake what people say. In other words, we value the same things being repeated by the media. It's a nonsense like grammar school. Oh, it's an oligarch. In other words. It's just another name for another word. Nonsense. You know how many people owe a lot of money to Americans? People involved with medicine is not even medicine. They're using it to cover up lie progressions, putting fake things in their delusions into databases. Psychiatry. I'm not even a doctor. Thank God they're criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions raw. Psychiatry. A number of medical families involved with ones near me. They used to live near me. They've been putting fake things in the databases with their teachers. They do little magic tricks. And then they use that years later. It's all not even fake. That's why they can't respond. Also, they're saying, oh, well, we're not supposed to speak about medical information. They're faking it through the news. Same ones pretending they can't speak about it when it comes to no. It's the medicine people and the hospitals themselves won't communicate with me. They already attach me and everyone around me to fake and change communications and about legal cases where they have personal and professional federal crimes with federal criminals in those cases before they even were. And then, since Connecticut's news locations, WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, and WTNH have all kinds of natures of organized crimes with the houses and businesses next to Hartford Hospital and next to campuses, intercities can tie to those people with those businesses and houses, like Demorals Market, Iola's Kitchen, and where Demorals Market is now too. They're increasingly involved with wire crimes, also with houses, also with businesses and houses next to Town Line Drive and Town Lines. In other words, you guys are with Wethersfield Police, forging and switching names, refusing to get on paper since I was a kid. These are people involved with the World Trade Center attack too, like with the ones named Cololo and DeMorrow involved too, with DeMorrow's confessions and about their confessions about a Scalora. I never saw them with a Scalora. A Scalora has been identity theft, fraud, slanders with people around me, tied to people from other areas who have roles of home break-ins, who have been also pretending to know me behind my back to my family members. A whole bunch of people since I was a kid, including I never even saw around schools. And they'll try to make a fake exception so you don't even notice when you hear someone. In other words, a whole bunch of people they're lying to me, to my family members. I can't get a person on paper, and my family will tell you this. But you have to ask them, right? Because these are a whole bunch of cops, the FBI. They don't even know. In other words, they changing fake conversations with me about the World Trade Center. Only part of my family was there with me. I was an observer watching in the Ninth Circuit Court next to the World Trade Center attack towers, on the towers on September 11th, 2001. Names at the towers next to it and in the Ninth Circuit Court next to it had collusion/S with that attack, and since to hide it. And it's motivated by them changing and faking what others say. In other words, people with the name Keene and tied to them, like there's a Enzo Fienza and his cousins recorded involved with some of the neighbors as victims of the World Trade Center attack who had roles with various natures of federal crimes, evidences crimes, and with the FBI and multiple police departments and fire departments. These are also people on Two Rod Highway, increasingly with a whole bunch of judges' families involved with identity theft, fraud, slanders, a whole bunch of overt criminal enterprises, private ones, their roles with drugs crimes, medicines crimes, wire crimes. This evidence is racketeering worse than war crimes. It's concentrated as their roles with probate court judges, where they have them at like mental health triages with the mental health care side of hospitals. More and more they're going to have real sick, crazy people going in there, and they value that so they could get over on regular people. They just attach mass people are constantly going in there, and they're constantly changing and just faking what's communicated, including replacing what's recorded 24/7, which could be revealed if you would follow mandated law, but you're not doing it. In other words, so there were wire crime acts and mail crime acts that forced that already. And the methods of that were forced me to ask Judge Napolitano. I've been asking him since before. I've been asking Fox News before he left. They had obligations not to hide this from him. There are families named Demain involved, and Mendez next to Fox Connecticut News in Hartford, Connecticut, involved with sexual and medical offenders with the Wethersfield Police Department, with the Mendez brothers. Collusions with others too that attached me to fake conversations and having been at the police station as a kid and then as an adult. You have some real sick people, more than one retired police chief involved with the intelligence families near me. And it's not personal, and you guys brought it up. I can show it's not personal. It's recorded too. But you guys are also recorded pretending other and say, well, I don't see evidence. You guys are criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions wrong. Get them on paper, one name and sequence. Get down. I'll get around.